Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this video we're going to cover gold. Gold was probably the market that I received the most questions on this morning, and I totally get why. And the reason is for the actual candle that we saw today. So a lot of times traders will, clearly will get our attention grabbed by a particular move, but in this case this was a 41.3 move from top to bottom, and that's not quite pushing the upper end of price movement range, but it's pretty darn close. Let me show you what I mean. So the upper end of gold is just over 41, probably close to 42 and change. But let's face it, when we're above $40, we're looking at the upper end of typical price movement range. When I say typical, I'm talking about 68% probability. This is the kind of ground that we'll cover on a single session, on a single day. So for sure, this is by that measurement, a significant move. Now, a significant move is not a setup. There's no significant move setup that I've ever had, but it could be a setup for a pattern that I believe is either going to be we know there's a couple different patterns we're likely to see after a large, again, now you know what we call it, large move. It's either going to be a slightly lower low, starting the process of a minor low, or it's going to be an inside day. So the candle that comes tomorrow will be higher, lower, it doesn't matter, but it will be inside the range of today's candle. Now, if we get a minor low, that's interesting because 1882 down to even this level right here. So I'm looking at the +1 standard deviation of my V-score, about 1870, so about a 12-point range. That area would be interesting for a long position. So 1882 to about 1870. That would be an oversold +1 standard deviation buy. What would I buy? I'd buy GLD calls. I'd buy the underlying GC. Heck, we could even go with the micro GC, right? That's the choose your own adventure part of trading. How do you execute the idea? This is the idea. Now, the other thing that I discussed in the chat room is, let's think like a day trader. Just because the market sold off almost 42 points, just over 41, doesn't mean there's a buy. Where would the buy first show up? It would show up as a trend reversal on a 1 minute or 2 minute or 5 minute time frame. So as the market heads lower, 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 when we finally get a threshold through which we could say momentum above it is now representative of a potential move higher, then we know that we could see continuation. I don't know that I saw that here. Market sold off and then flattened out. So I'm leaning a little bit more towards a minor low, slightly lower low tomorrow, but I'm not going to guess. I have two scenarios in place. Did today set up a good buy opportunity? A buy opportunity once the market leveled out would ideally have been it really could have. We could have actually triggered through the point of control through about the 1896 level. Another level that I would have been content with is a buy off my HPMR low. So this is a tool that I created that calculates the hourly. So this is a 60-minute, right? This is all 60-minute historical price movement range. And what we do, and it's really simple. It's an elegant little calculation using the data from AutoChartist. So we look at the current high, we look at the current low, and we subtract the hourly price movement from the high, and we add the hourly price movement from the low. We get these projected highs and lows based on historical volatility. How cool is that? So I would have been fine with a historical, hourly price movement range low buy. That could have been an alternative, but I think 1896, from an aggressive day trading standpoint, was probably the level. So that's what I've got going on in gold. So what's the bottom line? I do want to buy it. The question now becomes, is it a minor low? Is it this day trading buy? Is it an inside day? What comes next? And we'll follow up on this tomorrow, okay? Because it really needs tomorrow's candle, but I want to show you what to keep an eye on for tomorrow's action. All right, that's gold, and I'll see you in the next update.